Remember the old Trianon Ballroom down on Madison Avenue? Remember the 10-cent hamburger and the 4% home mortgage? Well, how about gas rationing, polio, and World War? Were the old days better or worse, or just different? One thing is certain. In our past are many valuable lessons, and in times of change, the wise person profits from experience. Put Ohio citizens' experience to work for you. Times like these call for a bank like ours.
Mobil back in the thick of the bidding for Marathon. Details at 11.
Tonight, we're going to see some of the greatest names in entertainment here to pay tribute to another pioneer, a pioneer in television, the man who blazed the trail. He had the daring, the courage, and the guts to be the first. He took on the dangers of the unknown and opened the door, and the rest of us followed after. Ladies and gentlemen, a tribute to Mr. Television, Milton Berle.
On TV screens in living rooms and bars. Our TV shows were powerful. We wowed you with an hour full of howls from a shower full of stars. We're the guys who once were guilty of presenting Uncle Milty each Tuesday on that famous show of ours.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as he was 30 years ago,
Mr. Television, Milton Berle!
You look like the place I just came from.
A tribute to Mr. Television, Milton Berle, in the company of his friends, Lucille Ball, Joey Bishop, George Carlin, Johnny Carson, Angie Dickinson, Kirk Douglas, Bob Hope, Gabriel Kaplan, Gene Kelly, Kermit the Frog, Donnie and Marie Osmond, Gregory Peck, Carl Reiner, Don Rickles, Frank Sinatra, Marlo Thomas, Flip Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kirk Douglas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Tonight, we're here to talk about a friend of mine, a television comedian. And the best way I can think of describing a television comedian is comparing him with a mountain climber. They both seek to gain recognition by reaching the top. But there's a big difference between the other television comedians and the one we're honoring tonight. Before him, there was no mountain. He didn't just climb it, he put it there. Now, what do you do for an encore after you've reached the top? It's easy for the mountain climber. He just comes back down and climbs up another mountain. But the comedian doesn't want to come back down. It just feels too good up there. Well, Milton could have played it safe way back in the beginning. He could have waited till somebody else broke in this new medium, got the kinks out of it. But playing it safe wouldn't have been as much fun for him. It certainly wouldn't have been as much fun for us. If we counted all the nights he filled our lives with laughter, excitement, it would add up to hundreds. So now, in return, we're giving Milton Berle this one night And knowing Milton, he doesn't mind odds like that. It's all part of the game. And tonight, we should all have a hell of a time playing.
There's one product no medicine cabinet should be without. Alka-Seltzer.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ho!
Alka-Seltzer.
Ho, ho, ho! Ho, 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 ho!
For acid indigestion with headache, nothing's more soothing or effective.
Ho, ho, ho!
No wonder it's America's home remedy.
Right now, blood is coursing through your body at the rate of nearly 2,000 gallons a day, carrying oxygen your body needs. To stay healthy, your blood needs vitamins and iron. 1 a day plus iron helps make sure you get what you need. 18 milligrams of absorbable iron to help build red blood cells. Plus, the 1 a day scientifically balanced base of 10 essential vitamins every body needs. 1 a day plus iron from Miles Laboratories, putting nutrition to work for your body.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I thank you. I think Kirk got a bigger hand, didn't he? First of all, I want to tell you how flattered I am to have been asked to be here tonight to pay tribute to Milton Berle, the King Tut of comedy. And by that I mean they have both been lying in state for a number of years now. You've heard the rumors, of course, that Milton sometimes uses old material. The only way you can date it is to cut one of Milton's jokes in half and count the rings. And some years ago, Norman Lear came to Milton Berle and asked him, Milton, to star in a meaningful television program. Milton at that time declined, and he turned down, said he did not want to star in a situation comedy, and that, ladies and gentlemen, was television's great loss. Had Milton Berle accepted Norman Lear's offer, today he would have been Maud. I don't want to take too much time. I'm delighted to be here because those of us in television who do comedy owe a great debt to Milton Berle, and I mean that because when the medium was new, nobody knew anything about it, how comedy would play. Milton took the chances for a lot of us, went on national television, and showed us that comedy would become one of the staples of television. And for that, all of us are grateful. Now you're going to see something that is the plague of all comedians, whether they're on stage or on television. That is the use of props. Props that sometimes do not work, and props sometimes that work too well.
From now on, it's the big time for Bugsy. I want more breweries. I want bigger territory. I want more trucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marlo Thomas.
I grew up with two comedians in my house, my father and Milton Berle. 6 days a week, my father got all the attention. But on Tuesday nights, we made room for Uncle Milty. Well, we made room for him lots of other nights, too. I mean, they were real pals. And because of it, I got to be a very lucky little girl. Because when I had a birthday, who would show up at my party dressed in a clown suit but Milton Berle? And that was always my favorite present. In those days, he entered millions of living rooms, but he actually walked into mine on the sides of his feet. He made me feel important. He made me feel good. And he made me wish that my next birthday would come around a lot sooner. Uncle Milty, I'm glad I could be here tonight for your party. I'm sorry I forgot my clown suit. You know, before Milton went on television, if you wanted to see a movie star, you had to go to the movies. If you wanted to see a musical comedy star, you went to the theater. But Mr. Berle made it easy for us. All you had to do was turn on NBC Tuesday nights at 8, and you saw everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cole Porter.
King Cole. Frank Sinatra, here he is. Martha Ray.
Wait a minute.
You listen to me, I'm Berle.
Berle. Two Berle names.
You went out with Albert Einstein?
No, dear. This man I went out with had another theory.
Please spare me the pitiful detail.
Well, you don't understand. You see, I'm on television.
Television?
Yeah.
Well, it's even more pitiful than I thought. Yeah.
How can I get these girls to scream over me this way? I really mean that. How can I do that?
Mr. Berle, I don't think you'd like it.
I wouldn't like one. What do you mean?
No, I mean, I don't like it. All these girls screaming, always tearing your clothes off, always, you know, trying to rip you apart, always trying to kiss you. I don't like it.
You don't? Someone must have stomped on his head with those blue suede shoes. But I know exactly what you mean, Pete, but we all have to change. You remember the old Berle, don't you?
I do.
Yeah?
It's the only thing that ever frightened me.
I'll bet some of the jokes that I tell amuse Mr. Lincoln, huh?
Well, he knew nearly all the ancient jokes of mankind. Of course, as everybody knows, some of yours go back to Noah and the Ark.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Carlin.
The invitation said black tie. I could have sworn it said black teeth. But I felt that my part of this tribute to Milton should be delivered in the form of a letter, a registered letter, just in case Milton should decide to use any of it in his act. Dear Milton, I know that not all of those who honor you tonight can say that when you first appeared on television, they were only 10 years old, but I was, and you're just going to have to live with that. And thanks to your influence, Milton, there are people today who still consider me 10 years old. But seriously, Milton, even at that age, I knew that someday I would be a comedian. I had several idols: Danny Kaye in the movies, Spike Jones on record, Bob Hope on radio, and on TV, hey, it was Uncle Milty. Now, of course, I did have some other uncles, and one of them did me a great favor at that time. He bought me this book, Out of My Trunk, by Milton Berle, Milton's joke book. So I'd like to close, Milton, by using one of your lines for a change. I'll paraphrase it. I never forget a face, but Milton, in your case, I'll never make an exception.
We'll be right back with Donnie and Marie, Joey Bishop, and Kermit the Frog.
8 a.m. Harry and Pete both have juicy, delicious sausage on their minds. 8:05. Harry sausage is ready. Pete's still waiting. Harry sausage is Swift Premium Brown and Serve. Pre-cooked, just 5 minutes for juicy and delicious, real meaty sausage. So if you want sausage on your plate, not on your mind.
Hey!
Try Swift Premium Brown and Serve.
Tastes great, without the wait.
This week, look for the free egg offer on Brown and Serve packages.
High noon at 98 in the valley.
98? Boy, would I like some ice cold, hey, orange juice right now. Yeah, orange juice would sure hit the spot. High time for something cool and good.
Hi, Harry, the usual?
Nope. Today, make it orange juice.
100% pure orange juice from Florida. It isn't just for breakfast anymore.
For centuries, women have impatiently waited for the men they loved to return from the sea. At Christmas time, there's no better way to express that love than a gift of Old Spice. Old Spice, fresh, clean, masculine, sensual. A wonderful gift for a man, a wonderful way to please a woman. This Christmas, give Old Spice to someone you love.
Saturday's two blonde and beautiful Barbaras. First, Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell sisters with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Then, Barbara Eden thinks there's something fishy in Harper Valley when Abe Vigoda guest stars. And the Sweat Hogs descend on Lewis and Clark, then on television Inside and Out.
Based on a true story.
TV docudramas. Are they really based on true fact? Then the ratings. What's the secret behind Nielsen? And a revealing look at Oscar winner Richard Dreyfuss.
He said if I continued doing what I was doing, I'd die.
It all happens Saturday on NBC.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's really a special pleasure for us to be here tonight to honor Milton Berle, because, well, Marie and I have always loved our Uncle Milty.
That's right. And I think that he'd be pleased to hear that our parents loved him even before we did.
He might not be so pleased to hear that our grandparents loved him even before they did, and even our great-grandparents.
I think what Johnny means is that the whole Osmond family has always loved Uncle Milty. He's made 4 generations laugh.
That's right. But you want to know something, Marie?
What's that?
I recently found out that Uncle Milty did more than just make people laugh. Did you know he also made people sing? He had over 400 songs published, and many of them became big hits.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's neat. Can you tell me one of the titles?
Leave the dishes in the sink.
Well, I was going to, but it's your turn to do them anyway. No, what about the title?
That was it. Leave the dishes in the sink.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sold over 2 million records. That's because it was tuneful, it was clever, and it was also on the flip side of Cocktails for Two by Spike Jones.
Lucky Spike rode home on a winner.
That's right, Marie. In addition to comedy, music was also one of Uncle Milty's great talents.
And you know, he really knew how to combine them. Milton Berle was the first man to do comedy musical numbers on television, and we're about to see some of them right now.
But first, Uncle Milty would like to thank you for all the happy moments you've given us and America.
somebody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Bishop.
It's just another night for the other people. For me, it's work. Before anything else, I have to admit two things. Number one, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Number two, I don't know Milton Berle. Maybe I don't know Milton, but I do know what he did for television. Everybody knows that. I never saw what he did, but I know he did it. I wanted to watch him many times, but it meant missing Bishop Sheen. And we bishops got to stick together. Before I complete my personal tribute to a man I never met, I just want to say that my being here tonight, all of us being here tonight, is because of Milton Berle. Matter of fact, he designed this very studio. It was from him that I learned how to take a mistake and turn it into laughter. And nobody ever did it better than Milton, and I should know, because I really know Milton.
How did he spin the thought? I don't know what I'm talking about. How did he start with forget about it? And I'll tell you, when I forget a joke, we're in trouble.
I want to have soup. Soup. Go through the door. Go through the door.
Here's the soup.
Well, what's your name?
My name is... You want to know my name? Truthfully, you want to know my name, huh?
Can't think of it, huh?
Yeah, I can't think of it, no.
After the show tonight, why don't we get a couple of girls and...
You're a little old for that. At your age, who do you think you are, old Flint?
Oh, no.
Can't think of his name.
Mr. Berle, what I'm going to do for you...
Yeah?
Barbara Hutton didn't do Rubarosa.
I was Boobarooza?
Rubaruba.
You're California bound.
You want to do for me what Barbara Hutton
Rubarosa.
did for Rubariza. Everybody talk to each other. Come here.
See, you know me very well. I don't steal jokes. I'm an ad-lib comedian.
Some ad-lib comedian?
Yeah.
You could lean against a stove and something, I'm supposed to do. If you leaned against a stove, you couldn't get a blister.
No.
You couldn't ad-lib a blister if you leaned against a hot stove.
Feel this muscle. Not so hard. Take it easy, please. I don't feel anything.
Just keep your hand in. It'll be along in a minute.
I think it arrived.
The captain always keeps his lunch in one of these drawers.
Over there.
I wonder... Oh, over here? I didn't know that. Would you bring out that microphone again, please? Is it live?
Yes, are you?
I was... Funny. Funny line. I wish I'd have said that.
You will.
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. You may have noticed my fancy outfit. Up to now, I've never even owned one of these. You see, ordinarily, frogs don't have tails. Milton gave me that joke. He said it's never been done. Anyhow, all of us Muppets are terribly happy whenever Milton does a show because we learn so much from him because he's such real showbiz. You know, he knows every shtick in the book, like how to work the cameras, and how to do a take. What? or how to milk a laugh. Anyhow, but like every great clown, Milton is a master of makeup.
Coming up next, Gabriel Kaplan, Flip Wilson, and Frank Sinatra.
Bonjour, class. Today we'll make the best popcorn better with,
Orville Redenbacher.
yeah.
We'll pop my gourmet popping corn in my buttery-flavored oil. It'll taste buttery without adding butter.
No butter?
And that saves calories. My corn pops bigger and fluffier. Most every kernel pops. And
Tastes buttery without all those naughty calories.
pop my gourmet popping corn in my buttery-flavored oil.
That makes the best better, Fettenredder.
Redenbacher.
Who lasts longer, Susan or Dry Idea Roll-On? Give ordinary roll-ons this kind of workout, they'll start to give out on you. They're mostly water, but not Dry Idea. Watch. The ordinary roll-on here, Dry Idea here. Minutes later, when perspiration starts, much of the ordinary roll-on can wash away, but not Dry Idea. Dry Idea has hardly any water, so it goes on drier, stays on longer, keeps you drier. In fact, you'll give out before Dry Idea.
Does your week bring you down, turn you around, or make you a little uptight? Well, cheer up.
Oh, excusez-moi.
SCTV Comedy Network's here with guest James Ingram later tonight.
This is a 13-strong news update. I'm Jerry Anderson. The war over taking over the Findlay-based Marathon Oil Company escalated today. The latest battle in this war was won by Mobil Oil when a federal appeals court stopped U.S. Steel from buying Marathon stock, at least for the time being. Americans began pulling out of Libya today in response to appeals from the White House. Now this.
Hi, I'm Lou Dalgen, inviting you to save up to 40% on diamond rings. 1.5-carat diamond engagement rings now from only $795. Save at Dalgen Jewelers, Cricket West.
Cold overnight, Jerry. Variable cloudiness for the weekend with highs in the 30s.
We invite you to join the entire 13-strong news team tonight at 11.
When Sharp replaced 300,000 transistors and diodes with this tiny chip, it opened a whole world of wonders, like the Sharp Carousel Convection Microwave Oven. As a microwave oven, it's better for fish and casseroles. As a convection oven, it's better for cakes and pies. And Sharp's microcomputer lets you cook in combination, while Sharp's Carousel turns the food for you. The Sharp CCM, it's a whole new world in microwave ovens.
Available at Appliance Plaza, 2860 LaGrange, and Morgan's TV and Appliance Port Clinton.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I feel so jazzy tonight. I'll kill you. I swear, I'll kill you. I'm really very happy to be here, ladies and gentlemen, and particularly to be able to fill Uncle Milty's shoes.
Now, that's a switch, huh? Somebody else doing Berle's jokes? Well, sir, if it's true what they say about imitation being the sincerest form of flattery, Milton has got to be the most flattered guy in the business. Because anybody who ever did a comedy variety show on the tube did Berle. But the trouble with being imitated is the guys who do the Xeroxing, they like to forget the original. And for a lot of years, Berle wasn't the most talked about personality at cocktail parties. When you're cruising along a beautiful 4-lane highway or jet hopping in a supersonic transport, you forget the fella who sweated to make that road smooth, or the guy who gave his life testing a jet engine plane when not too many guys were willing to give it a try. Now, that may be a pretty dramatic way of explaining what Milton did, but sometimes I think we have to be grabbed by the neck and shaken up and reminded that somebody else took the knock so that we can enjoy the payoff. A lot of people think anybody who was there first could have done what Berle did and become Mr. Television. So how come nobody did? I'll tell you the way I see it. Milton Berle wasn't made by television. Television was made by Milton Berle. I'd just like to thank him for allowing me to be part of his life because he damn well made mine a better one for it. Thank you, Milton.
This must be love because you feel so well.
No sobs, no sorrows, no sighs.
Tell us, Frank.
This must be love.
I recognize the spell. Your head is up in the sky.
My heart is standing still. It doesn't beat.
Well, she must be sweet.
She's gorgeous. This must be love because I can always tell whenever I look into her eyes.
You got more to tell me?
My heart is standing still.
How can that be?
Wait till you see Mogambo.
This must be love because I feel so well. Oh, how I love to look in her eyes. We love to look, baby, right in her eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gabriel Kaplan.
Thank you. Thank you. Tuesday night for millions of Americans meant watching the Milton Berle show. For my family, it also meant going upstairs to Mrs. Schrank's house. You see, Mrs. Schrank was the first one in our apartment building to have a television set. And everybody used to gather there on Tuesday nights. Mrs. Schrank let people do this for two reasons. One, she was a kindly old lady. And two, she had lousy reception, and she needed a lot of people to take turns holding the antenna. Anyway, in Mrs. Schrank's apartment, on Tuesday night, everybody would be laughing, including Mrs. Schrank, and she was pretty tough. And I promised myself if I ever became a comedian, I would try and make Mrs. Schrank laugh. And Mrs. Schrank, if you're out there, wherever you are, if you're laughing, you can thank Milton Berle.
Ladies and gentlemen, Flip Wilson.
Late, honey. Really, because I don't want to be late for this. This is a very special occasion. Us girls got to stick together. That's how I feel. And personally, my opinion is nothing could have kept me away from here tonight. Not even 5 minutes with John Travolta. This is a serious occasion, friends. Please, I'm here because 3 of my favorite funny women of all time, without question, are Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, and Mildred Berle. Right. All time. Right. You can take that to the bank. Anytime you see me, you ask me who my 3 favorites are, I'll tell you. And Mildred Berle's one of my... Oh, my goodness. Them some jewels. I'm dropping my jewels. Yeah, honey. Later on in the show, we're going to see the other side of Mildred Berle. We're going to see her dressed up as a man.
It may not be real obvious right off, but you're looking at a very changed man.
Thanks a million. Well, here I am.
Hey, you know I'm only kidding. You know that. They know it, but I don't.
I just remember that we were always known as the long-stemmed roses of the follies.
That's true.
You were a little thornier than most, but...
There was only one claim I was interested in. Her claim to fame. Her face.
In conclusion, I'd like to say these words, and I mean it. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. Or would you rather be a pig?
Coming up, Angie Dickinson and Gene Kelly.
Every morning, people face the moment of truth. The moment they decide if their dishwasher detergent did the job.
If I find spots on these glasses.
Or didn't quite do the job.
I found spots on these glasses.
Try Cascade. Most detergents can leave drops that spot, but Cascade's sheeting action leaves glasses virtually spotless. Cascade's moment of truth.
What a shine! Now that's more like it.
Is Cascade's moment of glory.
Introducing a great new taste in toothpaste, Advanced Formula Crest in a gel.
I love the flavor.
I love the fight.
We start off every morning fighting cavities with a gel as tough as Crest.
Only Advanced Formula Crest has 3 flavors, regular, mint, and new gel. All with Fluorostat, Crest's proven cavity-fighting system.
I love the flavor.
I love the fight. Every morning, every night.
Fight, fight, fight.
New Crest flavor, same Crest fight.
Mom, how could they make Massengill vinegar and water douche better?
They just did it. Made a new and improved vinegar and water disposable that's gentler than ever.
Massengill freshness, gentler than ever?
It's the only one that's pure vinegar and water. No additives.
Convenient as ever?
Sure, still pre-mixed, pre-measured, and the same special design.
Vinegar and water, the solution many doctors recommend.
And Massengill made vinegar and water pure, gentler than ever.
Massengill freshness, gentler than ever.
Saturday, the New York Jets go all out in a must-win situation. But can the Cleveland Browns burst their bubble? An NFL special. The Jets battle the Browns, Saturday.
Sunday on Chips, 2 rich girls set their sights on Ponch and John, but their real love is crime. Then, first time on television, in search of historic Jesus. Did Jesus rise from the dead? Is the image on the Shroud of Turin the Son of God? Startling revelations. It's a TV premiere after an all-new Chips, Sunday on NBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, Angie Dickinson.
First of all, I want to say that this evening, this tribute is fun and warm and exciting and long overdue. Deserving accolades that you heard that have been tossed Milton's way, mentioning so many of his achievements, there's still one that has been overlooked, his dramatic talent. Actually, one of his performances in a straight play was reviewed by a top critic who said, and I quote, "After watching him last night, the man should be arrested." I guess that's why they called on me. But don't take my word for it. The people in the industry must have felt the same way as I do, because they nominated him for 2 Emmys. The first for Most Outstanding Kinescoped Personality, and the second was for Outstanding Single Performance by an Actor. That's right, by an actor in a leading dramatic role. In case you're wondering, is he really that good of an actor? Now is as good a time as any to find out.
Figured I worked pretty good, Lou. Why did I tip it off?
When you told your girlfriend.
You forgot your tie.
We'll take care of the other one later.
I don't know.
is that he helped you and he's in trouble.
Well, I'm in a little trouble myself. I earned two things tonight, Chris. What I went for, Sandy's legs and this.
Victor did it for you, Eddie. You asked him, and he did it.
He knew the house rules. What do you expect, Chris? What do you want?
I want you, Sandy's father, Victor's friend.
Not the way I'd come out of Sanger's meat grinder.
Any way at all. Just so long as we start even.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Reiner.
Well, we've spent a good deal of time tonight illustrating and talking about Milton Berle's 30-year contribution to television. And all of it is true. But the picture, the whole story, is larger and more significant. I'm not even sure that I can make you sense the enormity of it all. You see, Milton didn't just make an impact on television. He made an impact on our lives. Back in 1948, 49, and 50, the next day after his show was on, nobody said, "Did you watch TV last night?" They said, "Did you watch Berle last night?" And they watched him, all right. When Berle was on, everything literally stopped. During the hour of 8 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights, the streets of the busiest metropolis became a ghost town. The restaurants were closed. Theaters were empty. One manager of a motion picture house put up a sign, "Closed. I'm going home to watch him too." A laundromat had a sign in the window, "Watch Berle while your clothes whirl." It wasn't that he was just on every week. It's how he did what he did when he was on. Live, no tape, no cue cards. Sometimes the punchline of a sketch was, "Sorry, folks, we're a little late. See you next week," because there was no clock in the studio either. Now, let's think for a moment and reflect. Were they really that funny, those sketches he did every week? Or is it just the nostalgic memory we have of them? Well, how's this for an answer?
You're beautiful. You're adorable. I know you, Zelda Sagebrush, the great English cinema star.
How nice of you to see so.
Not see, say so. Who writes for you? Florence Desmond?
Oh, you should squawk. He got a good laugh the mistake. He got him in the aisles.
Got him in the aisles.
Yeah.
Yes, the British aisles. No ad-libbing.
Yeah, now, boys, let me explain a few of the rules to you.
Yeah.
First of all, there'll be no hitting below the belt.
No hitting below the belt.
Okay, no hitting below the belt.
No hitting below the belt.
That's number two. No hitting below the belt. A little late, kid.
Yes.
7 times 13 is 28. Right? Well, 7 times 3 is 21.
21, that's
right? Yes. 7 times 1 is 7.
Yeah.
21 and 7 is 28.
Are you through that cigar?
No, I'm not through with it. Not right now.
Well, you don't expect me to wait around here all night, do you? Not bad for NBC.
I don't want to fight you, Mr. Richard, but gee, what kind of a dramatic reading could we do?
Well, there are all sorts of eminent writers that lend themselves to reading. For instance, there's Ibsen.
Buddy Ibsen?
No, Henry. Then there's Shaw.
Artie Shaw?
No, Bernard. George Bernard.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Voltaire. Fool around with that one.
Voltaire Winchell.
You mean to say, if I took this pie...
And went like this?
Ladies and gentlemen, Gene Kelly.
Thank you. Well, thank you, and you're very kind. So far tonight, we've seen and heard about, I'm still laughing at that last bit. We've seen and heard about Milton Berle, the comic, Milton Berle, the clown, Milton Berle, the songwriter. Well, I'm here to tell you about Milton Berle, the dancer.
Now, I've watched Milton dance on television throughout the years, and I can state without fear of contradiction that he is definitely a great comedy talent. Now, the only reason I'm kidding about Milton Berle's dancing is that he really could dance, and I'm not kidding. A lot of guys who are pretty fancy on their feet shared the stage with Berle, whether they liked it or not. You see, for years, he gained a reputation for getting into everybody's act. In many cases, he also improved it. A lot of critics used to complain that Milton Berle was always on, all the time. Well, maybe he was, but because he was, so was every television set in America.
Well, that's it for me. What a night. My goodness, Milton Berle, since I'm a kid, really has been my idol. That's the truth. Since I first started in this business, I've always loved Milton, and I still do. He's a great man, and he stood backstage and said, don't forget to say that. He's a lonely man, lonely man. Stands on the highway in his underwear. Help me, help me. The old broad from Iowa is going, who's Milton Berle? I kid you, lady. You're old. That's only a joke. The daughter-in-law went, yeah. I must say, though, I am proud and delighted to be part of this great tribute to Mr. Berle. I call him the king, and I always say, what a night. That's his expression. Because he always taught me, when an audience loved you, you said, what a night. When an audience was restless, you said, what a night. When the audience said, hey, we don't know, you said, what a night. Because he always made every performance. With my dear mother and I and Nicky Blair's Carnival, which goes back many years, we sat, we had dinner. $1 for soup in those days was a great deal. $3 for the little shrimp cocktail. $50 maybe for the dinner. And my dear mother said to me, what a night. And Berle said, what a night. He is a knight, and he is a great man, and I love him dearly. Thank you.
For all the soap and water you've so patiently put up with. For all the things you've had to share without a single complaint. For all those things.
I'm glad there's more real meat in new Gainsburgers.
Oh, sure, Gainsburgers still has that neat burger shape.
But now it tastes even better with the real meat you can't get from the leading dry dog foods.
New Gainsburgers with more real meat. You'll be glad we made them taste better. And so will he.
First Pampers invented quilting to help keep babies dry. Now Pampers invents new cushion quilting. It keeps a little baby a lot drier than any Pampers ever did. New cushion quilting. It makes the lining fluffy, helps keep your baby away from wetness even when he presses down. It's the driest Pampers ever. Introducing new cushion quilted Pampers. Keeps a little baby a lot drier and a lot happier.
The Chicago Tribune says the new Saturday Night Live isn't as good as the original, it's better. So this week, join the fun as host Bill Murray welcomes Father Tito Sarducci and the Spinners, Saturday.
Tuesday.
You're trying to put me away.
Claude pushes Eudora into a nervous breakdown on Flamingo Road.
Mother?
And Constance's secret is exposed to Field.
Portions of a tribute to Mr. Television, Milton Berle, were brought to you tonight by new cushion-quilted Pampers, the driest Pampers ever. They keep a little baby a lot drier and a lot happier.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lucille Ball.
You know, somebody once said, if you have one or two or maybe three good friends in your whole life, you're a very lucky person. Well, I consider myself extremely lucky because one of my friends is Milton Berle. And if he was the only one I'd had, I'd still be in great shape. He's more than a comedian. He's a real person with feelings and one who cares. He's someone you can count on when you need him, or respect your privacy when you want to be alone with your thoughts. He's sensitive, he's considerate, kind, and, as you can tell by what I've said, a pretty darn good speechwriter, too. I just had to get that in. He'd never forgive me if I played straight too long. In case you haven't gotten the message by now, I'll shorten it for you. I love Milton. Now, I don't want to get too sentimental, but my personal reason for being here tonight is not just to congratulate Milton for 30 years of outstanding performance, but for 10,000 days, I counted, of being my friend, which was never a performance. Of course, I'm not the only woman Milton was ever gracious or kind to, no matter how rough he might have been to the men around him. When he got on stage with a lady, he was the complete charmer.
Well, really? And you, a married man? Wait a minute, get the police, please. The night is young, the sky is clear.
And if you want to go walking near,
it's delightful, it's delicious, it's delectable, it's delirious, it's the limit, it's the limit, it's the limit, it's the limit.
I need love. I need affection. And cigarettes. Oh, I'm tired. I can't go on this way. I can't. I can't. I can't.
I want her hit, and I want to hit hard.
Mr. Berle,
Yes, Mrs. Carmichael.
may I toss the salad?
Please do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gregory Peck.
Thank you very much. In the early days of television, Milton, by transporting TV into the most popular of all the forms of entertainment, frightened the movie people into exerting themselves to make better pictures in order to compete with this upstart. In the long run, filmmakers were stimulated by that challenge, as were the audiences who began to demand finer films. So all of us in the business of entertaining the public owe Milton a debt of gratitude. He was and is a very important American artist, a man who's influenced all our lives. I have the pleasure of introducing the guest of honor, And in doing so, I'd like to quote a toast he once made to the men in his profession. He said, "To the funny men who were, who are, who will be heroes who face the world naked but for the weapon of laughter." Ladies and gentlemen, the five-star general of all the armies of the funny men, still Mr. Television, Milton Berle.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please. Sit down. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I really want to thank you. I guess I've had my share of nights, but this tops anything else. I mean that. I have been roasted, toasted, broiled, grilled, everything. But this has been the easiest one-nighter I have ever done. I mean that. All I had to do was to sit backstage there, watch it all happen on the monitors, and look at the old kinescopes. And you know something? I was pretty damn funny, you know that? I was watching it back there. Everyone here tonight, everyone was just wonderful. Everyone on the show. You know, to tell you the truth, I wasn't really sure anyone would actually show up, and I'd have to go and do the whole show by myself. And you know how I would have hated that. But to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, who did appear, and to all of you here, and all of you out there, thanks. I want to thank you for caring. You know, when this medium was in its infancy, and I was one of the first babysitters to say, I don't think I ever stopped to think of what it was all leading to. In case you're wondering, and you're thinking, do I have any regrets? No, I don't. None at all. Whatever was, was. I don't know how to live anybody's life except my own. Thanks to you, my friends, my family, my dear mom up there, and maybe a lot of good luck. I have really had the time of my life. And as long as I can, I'm just going to keep on having it. So again, thank you, good night, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Later on the Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, Johnny welcomes Diana Ross and Chevy Chase. Then for outrageous fun, it's SCTV Comedy Network. 1 week from tonight, join your favorite stars for an NBC Family Christmas. It's a fun-filled holiday party with Conrad Bain, Rhoda Barrett, Nell Carter, Barbara Eden, Eric Estrada, Rock Hudson, and many more, all on NBC. NBC News is proud of the people who keep you in the know.